Hey guys, it's Andrew with another Love Tech video. Today is super exciting because I actually went out and purchased six Mac Minis from, they're a little bit old, 2006. However, I'm super excited because today we're gonna go through and look at the specs on each one of these models, and then in a future video, get to repairing and restoring all of them and then trying to sell them on eBay for money. So let's get started. So to begin the video today, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about these computers. As I mentioned in the intro, I actually purchased these off of Facebook Marketplace for $60 and I got 6 of them. So that equates to $10 a computer. One thing that sparked my interest, particularly in this deal, was the fact that I was actually, first off, able to talk the guy down from like his $300 asking price to $60. So that was just sad right there. But it was a good deal for me. So I actually did some research on these guys, and they on eBay on average are going on sale anywhere from about $40 to $80 per computer. So what I was kind of wanting to do is see, is it worth flipping the 2006 Mac Mini and reselling them on eBay to try to make a profit? So that's kind of what this video and the next video on the channel will be about. So first off, let's talk about what we're gonna do in this video. Today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna power all these guys on, look at the specs on them, and then what I'm gonna do is actually be saving one of these for my own personal collection, the best one that is, for my own personal collection, and then the rest of them I'm going to flip and sell on eBay. However, I wanted to try and experiment out on these, and by that I mean what we're going to do with one of these Mac Minis is I actually purchased a 240 gigabyte SSD drive that I'm going to put into one of these and also do a good internal cleaning and reapply thermal paste to the CPU. So that's going to be in the next video on the channel here. So after I restore one of these guys and sell it on eBay, I'm going to kind of use that as a baseline to see, is it really worth putting a solid state drive in one of these computers that's this old? And will you be able to see any sort of return on upgrading something this old, or are you better off just keeping it as built and just trying to sell it from there? So that's what this video is going to be about today and the next video here on the channel. So I'm super excited to get going on this project. Again, I only paid $60 for all 6 of these guys. So as long as I sell them for more than $10 a piece on eBay, I should be making some sort of a profit. Before we get to powering these guys on today, I want to mention also one other thing. I'll leave a link up above and down below in the description for this, but if you're wondering about the history on the Mac Mini, I actually produced a video on the channel about a month or so back showing kind of the whole timeline of how Apple introduced the Mac Minis to the market. So if you haven't had a chance to go take a look at that, definitely go take a look at that video. Again, I'll leave a link down below and up above. So without further ado, let's get to powering on these Mac Minis and see what we have. All right guys, so I got all the Mac Minis labeled with sticky notes now, so let's plug them in. This is number 1. Let's give it a try and see how this works. All right, so the first computer booted up. We'll take a look at that in just a second. One thing I do want to mention before I get into looking at all the specs on these different computers today is the fact that these computers themselves were covered in grime and adhesive and dirt from way back when, through all the years of use they got. Originally, these were at actually the university I went to. That's what they appeared to be. And then this guy who I bought them from off of Facebook must have bought them from the university I went to. So what I wound up doing actually is, it's amazing what rubbing alcohol can do and some cleaning supplies, because these computers, other than a few scratches and scrapes on them, they look almost virtually brand new on the outside after I took some rubbing alcohol to them and just scrubbed them up really good. So again, I think I'll be able to get some fairly good money for these considering the deal I got off of Facebook Marketplace. All right guys, so the first Mac Mini booted up. So now we're gonna take a look at the specs. Again, to look at the specs on any Mac operating system, simply go up to the Apple at the top left-hand corner in the menu bar and click on About This Mac. This will bring up the specs of what we have. So taking a look at this, we have OS 10.6, which is Snow Leopard. And for our processor, we have a Intel 1.66 gigahertz Intel Core Duo with 1 gigabyte of RAM. If we click on more information, this will actually bring up the system profiler application, and it will show us a little bit more spec-wise what we have on our computer. So let's take a look at some additional specs on Mac Mini number 1. It looks like, again, we have that 1 gig of RAM in here, and taking a look at the graphics and displays, this has a 64 megabyte, yes, 64 megabyte graphics card in it. It's actually shared system memory. This didn't even have its own graphics card, and it is actually able to output the full 1920 by 1080, which is fantastic. This computer actually booted up fairly quick for it being so old, so that's one thing I was very surprised about. So let's take a look now at the storage on this and what kind of hard drive we have in here. All right, so it looks like, looking at the serial ATA specs in the system profiler, this came with a Fujitsu 60 gigabyte hard drive in the computer itself. So the hard drive is probably the original one, seeing that it's only 60 gigabytes. The RAM also, I believe, is original in this as well because it's not been upgraded. I think some of the 2006s actually only came with 512 megabytes of RAM, but it was an option to upgrade to 1 gigabyte. Hey, at least we got lucky on the first one. So with that, let's get to the second computer. All right, guys, so now let's get to powering up Mac Mini number 2 and see what we have. I'm wondering, is it gonna be different or is it gonna be the same? Let's take a look. That one booted up very, very quietly. I wonder if the disk drive in that's working. I didn't hear the kind of noise when the computer booted up, so we'll have to see. Let's see what we got here. All right, so this one did not boot into the fresh install. Interestingly enough, that is very interesting. It looks like somebody's actually been on here and has done some work on this one. All right, so let's take a look a little bit around this computer's operating system. So it looks like somebody definitely, this was definitely somebody's computer, I should say, because it looks like they have Google Chrome installed and stuff on here as well. Let's take a look at the history. Okay, so they did use some Amazon history. Okay, so here is what is on this computer, interestingly enough. Looks like somebody was browsing Chrome looking for some Amazon HDMI cables. They downloaded VLC media player and how to update your Mac to OS X 10.9.2. So I'm guessing somebody had this computer and was trying to update it to be a newer version. However, I believe on these 2006 Mac Minis, at least, you can only go up to 10.6, which is Snow Leopard on them. I don't think you can go up to 10.7, which is Lion or anything higher. So it looks like somebody was actually trying to install 10.9 on here. So that is interesting. Anyway, it doesn't look like there's any other sort of applications on here. Nothing in documents. So it looks like somebody was just looking at wanting to maybe upgrade this computer and was like, okay, it's not going to take the newer operating system, so I don't care about it anymore. That's at least my guess as to what happened here. Without further ado, now that we've explored a little bit more on the operating system itself here, let's take a look about this Mac. Maybe this is the better one, maybe it's not, I don't know. Let's take a look. All right, we have a Intel Core 2 Duo. So this, in fact, is a better one. This is a 1.83 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo with 1 gig of RAM. So again, the processor is better because this is an actual dual core Mac Mini as opposed to a solo core, which was the Core Duo instead of the Core 2 Duo. So this computer is actually better already than the other one. Let's go into more info and take a look at what kind of hard drive we have. Yeah, so the model identifier, this is actually a Mac Mini 2,1, not a 1,1. The first Mac Mini here we looked at before was a 1,1 Mac Mini. This is a 2,1, so it is a newer version of the Mac Mini indeed. And again, running a 1.83 gigahertz processor, and looking at the hard drive, what do we got? Drum roll. We have again, a Hitachi, an 80 gigabyte. Woo, 80 gigabytes instead of 60 gigabytes. So still a very small hard drive. But then again, back in the day, 60 or 80 gigabytes back in the year like 2006, 2007 was actually a fairly decent size. And that'd be kind of in comparison of like saying 1 terabyte now, which is pretty standard across a lot of computer models, is either you're the 500 gigabyte or terabyte drive. So considering these hard drives have lasted this long is fairly surprising, because yeah, it is 2020 and this is from 2006, 2007 timeframe. So this hard drive is like 14 years old, so pretty old. So hey, that's interesting. At least this is the one I might actually wind up keeping, because again, this one is in fact better than the first one, and it's a newer one. So with that, let's get on to booting up Mac Mini number 3. All right, guys, so that's 2 down and 4 to go. So with that, let's hook up number 3 and see what we got here. This one will be interesting. You can probably see off this camera here, it is actually, in fact, password protected. So since this one is password protected, what I'm going to have to do is actually grab my disk for Snow Leopard, and we are going to have to boot into the recovery so we can at least see the system specs on this guy. All right, guys, so I am back now. I got my copy of Snow Leopard. So we're gonna actually put this guy in and then boot off of the disk itself, and then kind of see if we can see the specs on the computer. So we're gonna reboot, and we're gonna hold the Option key down during reboot, and this will let us boot off of the DVD into Snow Leopard. I'm actually gonna shut down. I'm gonna shut down. Obviously, restarting's not working here for some reason. I don't know why. So I'm gonna hold the Option key down, then we're gonna turn the computer on. And then now we should get the boot menu. No, I don't know if the drive's working correctly. It's spinning, but it's not wanting to boot. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do now, I think what I'm gonna do for this one is I'm gonna set it aside, and I will take a look at it a little bit later so we can continue on with the other 3 and hopefully they're not password locked. I don't know why this is not working. All right, guys, so welcome back. Number 3 is locked. Let's try Mac Mini number 4 now. So we're gonna plug this guy in. Hopefully this one's not password locked. I feel like I'm playing a gambling game. Is it a better one than the second one or the first one? Or is it the same? I don't know. No, it's password locked. Crap. All right. Again, shop master. Let's see. You know what? I should have left this disk out. I had a feeling that I was going to need this again. So I'm thinking what happened before is the drive on here wasn't working on number 3, that was. So let's try it on number 4 and see if we can get to boot off of here. Ooh, sounds very cringy. I cringe when I hear that. That noise, like, ooh. Okay, well, that didn't like the DVD. So I am thinking we have a bad drive in this computer. It just spit it back out at me. Oh, the fun of everything. Technology when it doesn't work. Let's put it back in. Again, doesn't sound good. Maybe we'll put 2 SSDs in this computer. Why not? Get rid of the optical drive, right? Yeah, it doesn't like this DVD. Okay, well, I think we might be even more screwed on number 4 here. All right, well, with that, we'll take a look at number 3 and number 4 off camera. And let's get to number 5. Knock on wood, please knock on wood that this one's not password locked. Oh, come on, don't be password locked. Please don't be password locked. Please don't be password locked. Number 5, come on, number 5, you don't have to be password locked. Is it password locked? I don't think it's going to be. I hear the intro music, so it's been wiped. Yay! Number 5 is not password locked. We can do the dance. We can dance with the music. All right, so number 5 booted up. No password issues whatsoever. Happy about that. They were not password locked. Let's go and look at About This Mac. Again, we have Snow Leopard. We are in 10.63. We have a 1.66 gigahertz Core 2 Duo processor, 1 gigabyte of RAM, and I can almost guarantee you this is the same exact computer as computer Mac Mini #1, that is. Just for kicks, let's go into the system profiler and take a look and see. Yep, so we are on a Mac Mini 1,1 running 166 gigahertz Core Duo, and I'm obviously guessing two 512 DIMMs. Yep. And then I bet this is gonna be a 60 gigabyte hard drive. Let's take a look. Yes, 60 gigabyte. Is it a Hitachi? Or are you a different brand? Because to me, I think the 2006 Mac Minis had Hitachi in them. This one, however, looks like it is not a Hitachi drive. Interesting. I'm not exactly sure of the brand on it without cracking it open. It doesn't tell me. So far, we have two 1,1 Mac Minis and a 2,1 Mac Mini. And then two of them, I don't know what the heck they are at this point in time. They're either probably 1,1 or 2,1. Besides that, I don't know any information about those yet. So with that, let's get on to booting up the sixth one. And oh my gosh, I pray that this one is not password locked, guys. All right, guys, so welcome back. And now I have number 6 here. So this is the last one. Again, guys, I'm really hoping it's not password locked. I think this one's gonna be password locked. I really am thinking, oh? It's not password locked, oh my gosh. Looking away, I guess did it. However, the sound, oh, there's the sound. It just was muted. Okay, so the speaker does work too. I just tested that out. When it booted up and was playing the intro video, for some reason, the sound was not on, so I was like, oh, it's on now. I got that taken care of, guys. I got it taken care of. Okay, so good news. 4 of our 6 Mac Minis do not have password protection on them, so yay, yes. That's a good thing. Is it a Core 2 Duo or a Core Duo? Before you guys find out, pause the video right now and put your guesses down below to see if you are right. I am gonna say, this is my total guess because I've not looked yet. I'm gonna say that this one is just a Core Duo, not a Core 2 Duo. So let's take a look. So let's go up to about this Mac. Oh, I was totally wrong. Oh my gosh, this is the best one yet. I'm so excited, guys. Look, oh my gosh, look. We have a Intel Core 2 Duo, but then it gets better. It gets better from there, guys. This is the one I'm gonna be keeping, it looks like. On top of that, it's not 1 gigabyte of RAM. It is 2.5 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, now I'm excited. I'm excited. Those two that are password protected over here, yeah, I'm disappointed about that, but this just made my day right here because I was not expecting to have one with 2.5 gigs of RAM in it. That is exciting. And so I have 2 Intel Core 2 Duos and 2 Intel Core Duos, and then 2 I don't know about yet. So this one is the one I'm keeping for sure, unless one of the 2 that are password locked turn out to actually be better than this one. So let's take a look at this system profiler and see what we got. It is a 2,1, which is to be expected. And it looks like 1.83 gigahertz, as I mentioned before, 2.5 gigs of RAM. Let's take a look at the graphics. Should be 64. Yep, is the 64 megabyte graphics card still on here. Memory, so we have 1 2 gigabyte DIMM in DIMM 1, slot 1, and 512 in DIMM slot 2. So this tells me this one was upgraded from the original 512 and 512 DIMM to a 2 gig and a 512 DIMM. So looking at this, that means that we should be able to put up to 4 gigabytes of RAM in this one and 4 gigabytes in the other Intel Core 2 Duo. So that could be a totally usable computer nowadays because 4 to 8 gigs of RAM, you can still have a functioning basic computer nowadays. Like 1 gig of RAM really isn't gonna get you anywhere, but if you're able to upgrade stuff to like 4 gigs of RAM, you can still functionally use it in 2020. What do you think the hard drive is gonna be on this? I'm gonna say 120. I'm gonna be optimistic. 120 gigabyte hard drive. Drum roll. It is 80. Is a Hitachi 80. So, okay, I was a little bit over optimistic there, guys. Yeah, it's only an 80 gigabyte hard drive. It's a Hitachi, so that's definitely the original hard drive in this machine as well. But hey, I am happy this has 2.5 gigs of RAM in it. So this one is the best one that we got so far. I'm really hoping the DVD drive works. Because the sound works. Let's see if it'll read the DVD. I should have probably tested the first couple too, make sure the DVD drives worked, because number 4 just kept spitting the DVD out and it was like, well, I don't like it. So I'm thinking that one could have been broken, but wow, these are so loud. Oh my goodness. It's like scary loud. But yep, it brought up the Mac OS installer, so that is great. So I am happy about that. So with that, we have successfully looked at all 6, well, I shouldn't say successfully, but we've looked at all 6. We've attempted to look at all 6 Mac Minis that I got, again, for $60. Now let's go back and try troubleshooting number 4 and number 3, because these are the 2 that we could not get into and take a look at. So I'm gonna play around with them a little bit more, and I'll be back in just a few minutes with another update to see if I can figure out what's going on with these and find out the specs on them. Hey guys, welcome back in. So it's a little bit later on tonight, and I was actually able to finally get into the 3rd Mac Mini. Out of frustration, I messaged the person on Facebook Marketplace that I bought these from originally, out of hopes that thinking, oh, maybe they'll actually remember the password on these, and miraculously, they did. Apparently, the password that was created for these computers was many years ago, but I don't know how they actually remembered the password because they haven't used them forever, basically. So, thank goodness for that. So I'm really excited to take a look at Mac Mini number 3 and number 4. So let's get to that. So this one, it looks like, is on 10.63, which is Snow Leopard. We are running a 1.66 Intel Core Duo, so this is only a dual core processor again. And we have 2 gigabytes of memory. So that's nice. This one does have additional memory. Not as much as one of the other ones we looked at a little bit earlier on, which had 2.5 gigs of memory, but still that's pretty nice that this at least does have 2 gigabytes of memory. Going into the more information, I'm kind of assuming this is gonna have a 60 gigabyte hard drive, maybe an 80, but most likely a 60. Taking a look at this, it looks like this is a Mac Mini 1,1. Again, the Intel Core Duo processor running at 1.66 gigahertz. And again, we have that upgraded memory at 2 gigabytes. Going down to the graphics, again, we're probably gonna have, yes, that 64 megabyte VRAM graphics card, shared memory, of course. And then flipping over to the serial ATA slot, it looks like this is a Toshiba drive. Interesting. Oh my goodness, this one has definitely been replaced. So I'm actually very glad we were able to get into this one, because if we weren't, I would have had a 250 gigabyte hard drive that basically would have been pretty much useless to be able to use. Yeah, because out of all the research that I've done, there was basically no way for me to get into this hard drive unless I found out the password from the prior owner. I did all kinds of research on it. I was like, oh my gosh, how the heck am I going to get into this hard drive? Because with File Vault on, it basically, from what some of the research I did, it makes all your keys on your keyboard during the boot process not work. So basically you can't boot into recovery, you can't reset your PRAM, you can't boot off of a CD or anything. So it basically kind of locks your machine itself down, at least from what I could tell on this. If you have any other ideas, leave them in the comments below. But yeah, it completely locked out the machine basically. So I had to know the password in order to get in to be able to see anything. So I'm very glad we have a 250 gigabyte hard drive in this. So that is a big surprise, definitely. And it's a Toshiba, so that is definitely not the original hard drive in this machine. So that is a very nice surprise. We could actually make a pretty nice machine if we put this into one of the others, possibly. So we might mix around the hard drives a little bit on this. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, with that, let's get on to looking at Mac Mini number 4. All right guys, welcome back. I got the 4th Mac Mini now hooked back up. We're gonna try the password on it, and if that works, take a look at the specs on this machine. Let's see, we have 10.63, 1.66 core duo again, only 1 GB of RAM this time. So taking a look at the system profiler on this one, it looks like again we have a 1,1 Mac Mini running at 1.66 gigahertz, 1 GB of RAM. Go down to the graphics and displays. This, yeah, again, 64 megabytes of shared VRAM. And then finally going down to the bottom, I'm guessing 60 gigabyte hard drive. Let's see. Yes, the 60 gigabyte original hard drive in this machine, the Fujitsu 60 gigabyte hard drive. So yeah, this one, again, kind of more of a base or bare bone minimum one. But overall, I'm really glad that we were able to finally get into Mac Mini number 3 and Mac Mini number 4 and show you guys what we got in total. So with that guys, I hope you really enjoyed the video here on the channel today. If you haven't already done so, make sure you go check out my new Patreon page. It's patreon.com/lovetech. If you subscribe there, you'll be able to get exclusive access to some of the behind the scenes looks at LoveTech and also some cool bonus material. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media at LoveTech4You on Facebook and Twitter. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel here yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications. And if you liked the video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And again, we'll see you next time in another LoveTech video.